Rise of the Shogun is a new DLC campaign that expands the Stronghold Warlords base game with a series of new missions, following in the historical footsteps of the legendary Minamoto no Yoritomo. This new DLC also includes 2 new warlord archetypes, the Snake and the Grasshopper. Each comes with new perks and edicts, allowing for fresh tactics with which to gain the upper hand and ultimately conquer the battlefield.
My army marches.
Rise of the Shogun releases alongside version 1.9. A free update available for all players which adds 3 new maps, 6 achievements, and Minamoto no Yoritomo himself, as both a playable lord and AI opponent. Founder and first shogun of the Kamakura shogunate, Yoritomo constructs his fortifications in the Japanese style, but also leads his forces with the bravado expected of feudal Japan's centre of power. With a distinctive H-shaped castle, Yoritomo shores up his defences using a mix of tower types, as well as using plenty of Mangonel turrets, allowing him to strike first in a short-range siege. Temples and tea houses both feature heavily in Yoritomo's economy, boosting his popularity with the help of plentiful rice and meat supplies. Because honestly, who needs vegetables when you have that much green tea? As a largely benevolent lord who relies on a positive fear factor, Yoritomo uses his renown to further boost an army which favours mounted samurai lancers, auxiliary cavalry, archers, and Sōhei Warrior Monks.
Interesting.
Specialising in some of Warlord's fastest and most hard-hitting units, Yoritomo's main weakness is that they are vulnerable to concentrated ranged fire, and, well, actual fire. On the siege front, meanwhile, Hwacha arrow carts, mantlets, and catapults are Yoritomo's go-to choices when assaulting an enemy stronghold. As a potential weakness, it's worth noting that Yoritomo stays away from trebuchets, meaning players can employ these as a defensive measure and strike first when they find themselves besieged. This distinct lack of trebuchets also means that, despite appearances, Yoritomo is not a man of culture. Charting 5 pivotal years of the late Heian period, our Rise of the Shogun campaign is designed to flesh out an important phase of Japanese medieval history, taking us from the Battle of Uji in 1180 AD to the culmination of the Genpei War. Rise of the Shogun provides players with 6 all-new historical missions. With tales of warring clans, fragile alliances, betrayals, and murdered royalty, Rise of the Shogun brings a bloody chapter of history to life, while testing the skills of veteran Stronghold players. Expect unique tactical scenarios, maps, objectives, and challenges as you test your Stronghold skills while absorbing a rich historical period. Experience Yoritomo's life as an accomplished military leader as you cement the power of the samurai, found the Kamakura shogunate, and begin the feudal age of Japan. First up, we have the Snake Warlord. No, not that snake. A master of deception whom playing against means keeping watch at all times for unexpected medieval espionage. Ninjas striking from the shadows are one thing, but with a unique perk that boosts the attacking power of these stealthy units, a rival Snake Warlord can be a powerful and underhanded foe. The Snake can also provide weapon shipments in the form of lancers, send powerful ballistic siege weapons, and upgrade castle defences to hold his own on the battlefield. Just remember, you can upgrade that castle all you want. Against an army of fire oxen and the ultimate siege weapon, those walls can only hold for so long. While not quite as devious as the Snake, our Grasshopper Warlord can prove just as fast and effective, crippling rival player economies while boosting your own. With the potential to wreak havoc on your opponent's industry and farming, the Grasshopper Warlord can summon large tribal armies and warrior monk relief forces, providing the perfect shock troops for unexpected raids. With a perk that can boost spirit and the ability to round out your peasant's medieval diet with some much needed vegetables, the Grasshopper is definitely not one to underestimate.
My army marches.
With the release of version 1.9 comes a new map pack that adds 3 new battlefields for use in skirmish mode and multiplayer. First off, we have Open Borders, a large map capable of hosting 6 players with just 2 warlords to fight over. Each lord will need to build their castle well, as the lack of hard borders requires a fully fortified defence. 2 lords sit above the other 4, but time will tell if this is an advantage or their grave. Next up we have Forest Clearing, a medium-sized 5-player map with almost as many warlords to conquer and command. In this map, rival lords will peer through a thick forest surrounding them to see a deceptively clear battleground, only to discover the dangers they must prepare for. Finally, we have another medium map in the form of Winding Path, with space for 3 players and warlords. Here, 3 lords battle to hold strategic positions. The eventual victor will identify the correct tactical choices at the most opportune moments during a game, emerging victorious by taking the advantages on offer. Now, before we finish, I have some exciting news to share. With the release of version 1.9, we have finally been able to increase the troop limit in offline skirmish matches, with a new max unit count of 1,000 troops. Please note this is the maximum number of units, meaning soldiers and siege weapons, available to players in a game. So if you're in a 2-player game, that's 500 each, 4-player, 250 each, and so on. Earlier this year, we increased the overall limit from 400 to 600. However, thanks to recent efforts from our devs, we are now able to near double that in version 1.9. Our Rise of the Shogun DLC campaign is now available to download alongside version 1.9, with additional updates planned for the winter period. Up next, you can expect another new AI character in the form of the legendary Fu Hao, but also a new warlord and 3rd skirmish trail, which promises to be our longest and best yet. We hope you're enjoying these DLC drops alongside new free updates and AI characters, which help preserve and upgrade the multiplayer experience for all players regardless of DLC ownership. For now, please enjoy our version 1.9, Rise of the Shogun DLC, and look forward to new Stronghold series updates in the future.